Picking up another premium and no better time because I decided to straddle to $300 this hand. And I pick up pocket jacks. So sick. There's a hijack open to $800. Cutoff makes the call. And the small blind jams his stack of $375. And somehow, someway, like I said, I peel pocket jacks in this $300 straddle hand. Granted, we are playing very short stacked with a $10,000 cap, so basically playing like 35 big blinds deep. So I'm going to commit stacks in the middle here because I peeled such a good hand and there's so much action. I bump it up to a raise of $3,500. The hijack player who raised to $800 folds, but onto this cutoff player who called the 800 and he thinks about it for a super long time. Looking at his stack, he's got maybe $5,000 total. And ultimately, after thinking about it for a long time, he ends up just making the call for $3,500. So already committed like almost 80% of his stack in the middle, and I guess depending on whatever run out, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm gonna have to go all in regardless. So we're going 3 ways to a flop, have a very small main pot with the guy who went all in for $375, and a very big side pot. We're going to a flop of ace-9 high, 2 diamonds. Seeing the ace on this flop obviously doesn't feel great, but with how little the cutoff has behind, I can't really do much but commit a stack, hoping to just deny equity if he has a hand like king queen and just get him to commit a stack. Who knows? I jam all in, which turns out to be around $1,900, so just under $2,000, and he's going to take his time. It's a big all in, it's a big pot. He thinks about it for a few minutes. Let him take his time, and ultimately he arrives at a decision, which is a call. Okay, we've got action. I show my hands, and this is the same player who had 7s when we chopped it on 3 different boards, so he wants to run it twice, and again, I'm just happy to comply. It's a home game that I'm playing in, so happy to just do whatever works for the rest of the crowd. The first run out comes, and I end up making a set, so at least I have this one locked up. The second run out doesn't really do a whole lot to change the board texture, but the cutoff shows 10-9 of clubs. And oh my god, again, another massive all-in where we could have won a high percentage of the time. I end up chopping. Super ahead on this board, and he just gets there on the second run out, and I chop. The small blind player has queen jack offsuit, so he ends up losing. So we chop the main, we chop the side pots, and not really the happiest of campers right now, but thus is the life of being a poker player. Next hand, still playing short-handed here. This one's quite a doozy. You just gotta give you a warning. You wanna strap in for this one. I have ace-queen offsuit with the $100 straddle on, and I raise it up to $300. The small blind makes the call, and the straddler of 100 puts in a raise to $1,800. We're both playing super deep, and here for $1,800, I'm happy to battle in position with a good hand. I'm happy to see a flop. Small blind folds, and we're going to a flop of 10-9-8 rainbow. He starts with a check over to me now, and on a board texture that should favor me as the caller opposed to the 3-better, I decide to bet out $1,000 here. This isn't really like a bluff or a blocker bet or anything, just mainly like a range bet, I think. And for $1,000, he makes the call. So I guess I'm hoping to hit a jack to hit my gut shot straight draw. But when the turn is the deuce of diamonds, brings in 2 diamonds on board, he checks again, and I don't know what to do. Him calling this flop is suspicious of him having a strong hand here, as he certainly could. And I don't know, ace queen high, maybe we can hit a gutter, maybe we can hit a pair. I check back. The river is now the 3 of diamonds, and I don't know, not super relevant, but I do have the queen of diamonds to block some flushes. He checks for a 3rd time, and as played, him checking 3 times, I think I'm just gonna apply a lot of pressure and bluff off a bunch. I fire out $4,500 into the middle, and this player goes deep into the tank for a long time. About 4 to 5 minutes go by. He starts talking and says that he just might call, but would be afraid if I have him beat somehow. And I don't know what to think. Not sure what he has. Maybe just a 1-pair holding that he's thinking about for so long. And look, I think if he calls, like ace queen high is not going to be good. He ends up tossing in a chip for a call. Oh no. I show my ace queen offsuit and he insta mucks. Oh, Jesus Christ. What is going on here? I got a tank hero call for $4,500 on the river, and the opponent mucks and doesn't have ace queen high beat. Oh dear God. Feeling like I got gifted almost $5,000 here on the river. Feeling pretty happy about it. Later, asked this opponent what he had. He had ace jack high. So yeah, I guess I'm just lucky to be in the spots. Or let me actually scratch that. I soul read this player and I just knew he would call with ace jack high and went for max value. That's the story I'm going with. That's the script I'm going with, and I'm sticking to it.